Teachers need to be protected and supported by administration and local boards. We need a safe working environment.
And so when we think about the types of things that I see as a K-3 teacher, I see the elopement, I see the hiding, the screaming, the swearing to teachers. I've been scratched, I've been punched, I've been spit at 3 times.
I would like to share some of my experiences from last year that I had working as a school social worker. In just 1 month's time, I had a student who said that he was going to bring a gun to school and shoot me. I was hit, kicked, no less than 15 times. I was spat on twice, and I received a concussion and a fracture to L3 in my vertebrae because I had to run outside in the middle of winter to get a student who ran out with no coat, and I slipped on the ice and fell. It was a weekly occurrence for one of my students to run out of the room and race full bore speed down the hallways, tearing up bulletin boards as he went.
One year I had a classroom with an aggressive and violent student. Staff would come into my room and tell me how amazingly quiet the rest of my kids were, how well behaved. I would tell them to come back on a day when the troubled student was absent, which they did. They were shocked. They saw fidgety kids, chatty kids, silly kids, loud kids, and spirited discussions throughout the lesson. They asked, "What did you do to them?" And my simple answer was, today they are not afraid. Today they can just be kids.
As we were walking out, he took his hands and shoved me into the door. And I fell backwards. I was stunned, devastated. I just cried. In 19 years of teaching, that has never happened.
While cooking in our classroom kitchen, an agitated student kicked a paraprofessional in the stomach, thrusting her 3 feet back onto the floor. My fellow teacher and I tried to restrain him, but he pulled away, punched me in the eye, and eventually lunged for a large knife. I held his hand as he tried to stab us. He was shouting he wanted us dead and asking us why it was so hard to take down 2 women. After 15 minutes, we finally got the knife away from him and he ran. Luckily, there were 2 of us, or the outcome would have been much different. My only thoughts were of my students and hoping none of them were hurt.
I know there's many colleagues that I work with that would love to speak up but are afraid to. There are instances every day where teachers are getting punched and hit and kids are swearing and screaming during instruction. And they get taken out, 5-minute walk, and they come back in.
We all want these struggling, troubled students to get the help they need, whatever that help may look like. We are grateful that there are many advocates and agencies out there to help us help them. But where are the agencies and advocates for the other 20 children in each class? Why must they be collateral damage? I've had years where 75% of my day was taken up by a troubled child in my classroom. Every child I teach deserves a full share of my time, every single one. How are these children expected to make necessary growth when their teacher is too busy running interference? In a climate where test scores determine everything, how can we possibly expect substantial progress from students who are afraid? The measure of a good day is no longer about learning. The measure of a good day now is one where no one was injured, assaulted, or suspended.
As I found out today, they have no idea what's going on. They hear small stories from people that are in organizations like CEA, but they really need to hear from us. If they don't hear from us in the trenches, they'll never know what the real story is.
People need to come forward and share their stories so that something can be done. Teachers need to be safe. Above all, kids need to be safe.